Hi, everyone. I'm Jeremy Bills. Welcome to the Astrology and Numerology Mixer. I'm Jeremy Bills.
And I'm Darlene Miller. Welcome.
How's everyone tonight? We're excited to meet with you tonight. What are you drinking, Darlene?
I am drinking a mimosa, which is a drink that was created by my daughter for Mother's Day. So I thought with May, we're hitting May, and for Mother's Day, that would be my cocktail for the evening. That is a little grapefruit vodka, some grapefruit juice, some lime juice, and a splash of pomegranate juice.
Delicious.
Very healthy. Yes, it's very good.
I'm drinking a margarita.
That was the other thing because of Cinco de Mayo, right?
Oh, that's right. Cinco de Mayo is coming up. Yeah, that's right. So yeah. I'm having a margarita. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
So tonight we want to go over a few things that are happening in the world. There's a lot of shit hitting the proverbial fan right now.
Lots.
And first of all, I want to talk about Neptune and Pisces right now. So Neptune is the planet of illusion, confusion, fear, but on the other side of that is trust and a connection to source energy, basically. And it's in its home sign of Pisces right now. So It's making it so amplified and so strong. And the thing that I'm finding is this, I think that there's kind of a battle going on for, are we connecting to the higher mind, higher consciousness, or are we connecting to illusion, confusion, and fear?
Yes.
Kind of see that like with the doctors right now. You've got some doctors that are like, okay, the coronavirus, it's happening. We have plenty of information about it. You can go back to work. There's nothing to be afraid of. Sheltering in place is stupid. But then you've got other doctors that are like, oh my gosh, stay inside. This is so crazy. We don't have enough information about it yet. And so again, it's that illusion, confusion.
Yes.
I think it's interesting. What are you finding about it?
Well, the thing with Neptune, and especially in its home sign of Pisces, its job is to create confusion and just kind of break everything down, dissolve what we think we know until we don't know anything. And that's kind of the essence of beginner's mind. So we can't learn anything new. We can't move to new information, to a higher level of knowing until we clear out what we think we already know. So, the vessel's already full. You can't add anything to it. So Neptune's job is to come in and dissolve all of that through confusion. Illusion is a nasty byproduct of it because it just leads people astray. And sadly, I think that it's important with this Neptune and Pisces, especially right now, that we just say, I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah.
And
that's okay.
And that's okay. Personally, I'm going to listen to the experts. I have so much information coming at me, people sending me all these things.
Yeah, me too.
Every theory out there, it's like, I'm going to stick with the people like Fauci that they know what they know. They've been doing it for a long time. And
I think the thing that I'm sticking to is not really anybody knows. I don't think that it's been around long enough for to gain enough or gather enough data, which is why there's so much illusion and confusion. I feel like just right when we feel like we're getting somewhere with it and maybe flattening the curve, something else comes up and kind of rattles us again. It's kind of interesting.
And it's going to double back on us. I have no doubt.
I think it's interesting that they're opening up all of the different states are opening up at different times and everything. But I think if you look at the astrology, you can see that this isn't just something that's going to go away anytime soon. It's going to be kind of a roller coaster effect. We're going to have ups, we're going to have downs. Again, this is that Neptune and Pisces, the byproduct of Neptune and Pisces. Tell us about the higher octave.
So Neptune is the higher octave of Venus, and Venus, of course, is the planet of love. And Neptune is a planet that can, you know, take us to that higher expression of love, more the unconditional love,
Yeah.
the oneness, the Christ-like love. One of the things that Neptune and Pisces speaks to is the energy of the vision quest. And if you've ever done a vision quest, it's like you go out into the middle of nowhere and you just are asking to be finished with what doesn't work anymore in your life or what you've completed. And you're opening up to a new vision for life. And my experience of it, and I've done several vision quests because I tend to like go through a lot of transformations, is that I don't get the clarity while I'm doing it. I don't get a nice little printout of, all right, what's going to happen in the future is this, and this. What I've done is I've committed to stepping across the threshold to an open door for a new vision, a higher vision of what's to come. And I believe for the mass consciousness, that's what's happening with Neptune and Pisces on that higher octave. We need a new vision. The old one is done. It's just not working very well now.
It's like we're all on a vision quest.
Like the whole planet is on a vision quest, and some people are freaked out. Some people are willingly doing it. Others are like, what?
Well, I think one of the things that is freaking people out the most, I think, in my opinion, is Uranus going into the sign of Taurus.
Yes.
Uranus is the planet of expecting the unexpected change. And it's gone into the sign of Taurus of complete luxury. It's our creature comforts. It's the things that we love the most.
Yes.
And Uranus is the great disruptor. So it just shakes everything up. And speaking of shaking, in Utah, we've been having earthquakes. And that
perfect Uranus and Taurus energy.
Perfect, because Taurus is an earth sign and Uranus shakes things up. So combine those together, you've got earthquake energy. We had the major earthquake in March, and then we've been having like hundreds of aftershocks ever since.
We have had, I think, over 1,000 aftershocks.
Holy crap.
Report.
Well, I've been feeling them.
And some of them are pretty big.
Yeah.
Some are pretty big. So.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. And by the way, we're in Salt Lake City, Utah. So if anyone's watching and going, where the hell are you? We're in Salt Lake City, Utah. Yeah, I find it interesting how everyone is reacting in a different way to kind of how Uranus is kind of disrupting all of all of the things that were strong and stable, like routines, work schedules, finances. I mean, Taurus is what rules our personal values, it's what we value, what we place value on, but it's also money. It's
on that very material level, what we value on a material level.
So when you get the great disruptor coming in and shaking it up, it's a wild card.
It really is. Yeah. And it isn't necessarily our higher values per se. It is money, it is home security, job, those things that make us feel safe and our material life. So, and that is what's being disrupted. So,
yeah.
It's not by accident. It's not about the virus. It is definitely about moving us out of some old places into some new places.
Yeah, and it's uncomfortable because Tauruses want to be comfortable. They want to be surrounded with their things. They want the good foods. They want lots of money. They want these comforts around.
They want the Charmin toilet paper, not the cheap stuff.
Not the cheap stuff. And there's no Charmin to be found anywhere right now.
There is not.
No. Trust me, I've looked. But it's one of those things where it's showing up differently for so many of us. There's so many people who are out of the job right now that don't have an income. There's so many people who have had to, there's a lot of people in New York City who've had to move out of their homes to get away from the city, which again, their home is where they're comfortable. I have a friend who lives in San Francisco and was in the process of buying a house when this all happened and has had to stay here, and his job luckily gave him permission to be remote from San Francisco. But he's been here the whole time in this brand new house with absolutely nothing. All of his things are in California. So it's been...
Oh my.
So I think it's affecting people all in different ways. Whatever the things that you consider a luxury or things that make you feel comfortable, they've been all shaken up.
And they're supposed to be. It really is supposed to be happening. So not to worry. Everything's going according to plan. It's just that it may not be going according to our personal plans. And I find comfort in knowing, though, that there are these bigger energies moving, these more transpersonal energies that talk about shifts that are happening for the entire planet, for our consciousness. We're getting smacked with some paradigm shifts, meaning the plan has changed.
Oh yeah.
Plans have been in place for thousands of years are now up for change.
Yeah.
And in the end it's good, but change is always uncomfortable. So
yeah, it is.
So I want to talk for a moment with this Uranus and Taurus energy. If you look at going back about 7,000 years, we were in the age of Taurus. It was the Bronze Age. And what we had prior to that we had the age of Gemini, then prior to that, the age of Cancer. And so we had a mother goddess, very Cancerian energy. The creator was a woman. And that's in the age of Cancer, that was the dominant belief system. Then as we moved into the age of Gemini, we had pair bonding kind of. It was like Isis and Osiris, brother, sister. We had Abraham and Sarah, who were brother and sister. And slowly the feminine started being edged out and a patriarchal energy started coming in. And so in the age of Taurus, that was dominated by an influx of materialism, rampant materialism, a lot of violence, a lot of energy where things went to a powerful few. They held all the wealth, they held all the possessions. And we've kind of had that ever since. We moved after that into the age of Aries, which was dominated a lot by war and a lot of violence. But even going, back to the age of Taurus, that was when human sacrifice started. We didn't have that before. Slavery started, where there were hierarchical systems, caste systems, if you will. And a lot of discrimination, came in during that time. So we've had a little over 7,000 years of that. And now Uranus comes into Taurus, which it's been in there somewhere in the last 7,000 years.
Yeah.
But this is a changing of the guard. This is like dissolving. This is kicking it out now, saying the wealth is not for just a few people. Mm-hmm. It's not. And I think this is, as we've got Saturn going into Aquarius and Neptune in Pisces, it's saying we have to think about other people now. This is kind of that hierarchy is going to get toppled, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And it's interesting, especially with Saturn going into Aquarius. It's going to go in there for a little bit, for a few months, and then it's going to go retrograde and go right back into Capricorn.
Back to Capricorn. Capricorn can't get a break.
Yeah, I know.
Oh gosh.
Well, I'm hoping. I feel such compassion for Capricorn people right now because, they're just getting the crap beaten out of them with Saturn and Pluto right now. But the good news of the shift from Saturn from Capricorn into Aquarius is Capricorn is very black and white. It's all business, all industry. So Saturn is the planet of restriction. It's the planet of also manifestation. So as it's kind of gone through and restricted these big businesses, right? It's really kind of taken away. What it's doing is it's going into the sign of the humanitarian. And we're seeing people start to come together in a really unexpected way to be here for each other, which we're finding so much more now than we ever have, ever in my lifetime.
Well, and we've got Saturn retrograding back into Capricorn, and now they've come up with a whole multi-billion-dollar bailout for big businesses.
Of course.
And with the other bailout, big businesses kind of, ate up all of that money, and it didn't go to the smaller businesses. Now the Federal Reserve is giving big business a whole big handout.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
so as it goes back into Capricorn, we see how the old system favors the wealthy, the privileged, the ones at the top.
Yeah.
And boy, it just leaves anyone below that in the dust. So, but it's going to go back into Aquarius and stay there for 2.5 years. And so almost
This is
3.
true.
And it's a little bit longer transit. So we'll see that turnaround. Well, I think we'll see that turnaround.
I think we'll see the turnaround, especially when Pluto moves from
Capricorn into Aquarius.
Yes. And that's not for a couple of years from now. But again, I mean, Pluto is the planet of it's the planet of transformation. It's the great destroyer. So it destroys all of the constructs that we once believed were the constructs for what were solid in our lives, and then it kind of goes through, and it's kind of the same thing in the tarot, the Tower card. How you see the image of this tower kind of crumbling to the ground. That's the Pluto energy. So we're going to see over the next couple of years this really interesting thing happen with big business as it shifts from Capricorn into Aquarius.
Yeah.
What was that?
I agree.
Yeah.
I said I agree. I think we're going to see some changes on the horizon. But again, we're in a paradigm shift, and it's like we learned the old program. But we have done very well at being greedy and violent and superior to others. We've gotten that one down, I think, pretty solid.
Yeah.
And now there's a new game in town, and we need to learn the new rules. We need to learn how to play the new one, and that will be much more humanitarian, much more equality based. Rather than hierarchical.
Yeah, and it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. Again, it's that kind of scattered energy of Uranus kind of coming in and shaking us up a little bit. The other thing that we have going on with Uranus is the sun is now conjunct with Uranus. Now, a conjunction in the sky means when one planet kind of comes close to the other one and is right next to it. So the sun is what represents everything that makes us shine. It's our personalities, it's our egos, it's how we put our best foot forward. But Uranus is the planet of disruption, is the change. So when we have those two together, it creates a little bit of friction, because what it does is it helps people to feel like they have a voice. And Uranus is about freedom. Uranus is about feeling freedom and breaking the chains that make us feel like we're being held back. So we've got this quarantine going on and social distancing. And now you're starting to see over the last couple of weeks, when that conjunction came into focus, all of these protests starting to happen saying, you're taking away our rights. We have the right to go to the store. We have the right to go around without a mask. And it's shaking everyone up, making them feel like caged animals. And that conjunction represents a breaking free of that. So now we're seeing the states kind of opening energy up. We're seeing people protesting and getting really angry because of that friction.
What is interesting that I've noticed the last few days, though, is that even though I think it was Georgia that opened everything up, like right off the bat, massage parlors and tattoo parlors and hairdressers, nail salons, things like that, even bars. Yeah. But they had on the news where there's not that many people showing up to these places.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't know. We don't have any business still. People are still choosing, most people are still choosing to stay home or to be cautious. And which I think that speaks a lot to, I don't think it's out of fear as much. I'm sure there are some people who are feeling fear.
Yeah.
But I think it's more common sense. I think it seems to be that more people are saying, we don't have a vaccine. We don't know what's going to happen. It's just not smart to just throw it all out the window.
Yeah.
So I was really surprised to see that, that not that many people. Now, of course, in Florida and Southern California, everybody poured onto the beaches and
Oh yeah.
things like that. But for the most part, people still are being very cautious.
Mm-hmm.
So, the other thing I'd like to add to, Sun conjuncting with Uranus, the sun is what we're passionate about. It's what fuels us. And, it is that fuel that moves us forward. And Uranus is also the awakener. It can be the disturber, the chaos merchant, but it's also the awakener. Its whole really higher purpose is to awaken us to something more than what we already know.
Yeah.
When you have a conjunction, the preferred dynamic there is we're supposed to absorb the two energies into one. They're supposed to become one.
Mm-hmm.
So the sun is supposed to take on Uranian energy, and Uranus is supposed to take on that more passionate personal energy, and the two are supposed to fuse into one. And that's the purpose of a conjunction.
Yeah.
So it's almost like really taking a look at, what am I really passionate about?
Mm-hmm.
What do I need to awaken to? You talked last time about, the deep uglies and the deep uglies, but it is about going deeper into ourselves and say, I know myself on the surface, but what drives me on a deeper level?
Oh yeah.
So I think this conjunction has the opportunity to maybe, for some people, awaken them to something more about themselves than what they knew before.
Oh
like,
yeah. Well,
I'm handling this better than I thought, or I'm smart.
Well, and a lot of people have the time to do so now. All of this hustle and bustle is gone right now. And that's kind of what, at least for me, that's what I get lost in when I'm busy and when I'm in the hustle and bustle. I don't have time to really check what am I passionate about. And now I'm getting to the point where since I have some time, and I've been hearing this from a lot of my friends, they've had time to check in and go, what is it that I'm passionate about? But not only that, we're vulnerable to that energy because all of our stability has been shaken up.
Yes.
So it's like the universe is giving us a gift.
The perfect storm.
Yes.
The perfect storm.
The perfect storm. It doesn't feel like that necessarily, but
no.
Yeah. And I just want to talk for just a second about going back to Taurus energy. We're in Taurus season right now. So a shout out to all the Tauruses out there. Tauruses hate change, and the planet of change is in Taurus right now. So all of the Tauruses out there that are experiencing these changes in such a drastic way, my heart goes out to you. Scorpios as well. It's all of the fixed signs that
Aquarius,
are experiencing,
and Leos, lots of Leo friends that are up for some change. The thing is, where it's squaring, so it's going to square for Leo and Aquarius.
Yeah.
And that just means make some different decisions, adjust your strategy, look at some different options. There'll be some changes. It's not hugely drastic. It's more like just look at some different choices. Scorpio and Taurus, on the other hand, there's some direct hits that are going to be happening.
Really big hits,
especially if you're early right now. If you're, born right around the cusp. There's going to be some interesting changes that happen right off the bat. So, but I again, it's like it all is good. It wants to bring you to a good place. It's just, if Taurus can fall in a rut and hang up pictures and call it home. And, Uranus comes in with the bulldozer and says, time to move, you know.
But once Tauruses can wrap their minds around what the move is and how it's going to affect them, they can get on board. But it's a slow moving process for them. So Uranus isn't very slow. It's pretty abrupt and unexpected. So again, shout out to the Tauruses. I mean,
And Scorpios.
that's
And
rough.
Scorpios,
Oh
because
yeah,
they're getting the
Scorpios, that's
opposition.
rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
it's tough energy. It's tough energy to be dealing with that stuff because um especially with the sun conjunct Uranus is just no one can stop me. I'm going to do what I want to do and nobody's going to stop me and you can't tell me what to do.
yeah.
So I think that's this pull for everyone wanting to get things back to normal. But I think the thing that people don't realize is the normal has changed and it's
There is
never
no
going to go
normal
back.
right now. Yeah, there is no normal
Yeah.
at the moment.
Well, and the normal it's going to be a new normal.
It's going to be a new normal. There's a new game in town. We
Yeah.
need to learn the rules. And that's why Saturn going into Aquarius is, I'm going to teach you the new rules.
Yeah.
Because Saturn loves to teach us the rules. And there are new rules now because there's a new game.
Well, and I find it really interesting. There's this huge theme going on the planet right now about people are kind of they're kind of being drawn away from the social constructs of religion and going more towards things like the occult, like astrology. And that's very indicative of Saturn going into Aquarius, since Aquarius is the sign of astrology. So people are being drawn to a new set of rules,
Yeah.
which, I mean, astrology isn't really all about rules. It's about really accepting who you are, accepting your own fingerprint on the different paths that you chose to take in this life and the things that you're meant to do.
Yeah, and to understand who you've come here to be and how to show up as that authentic self. And it's a wonderful roadmap for that. I find it interesting that astrology, that Aquarius rules astrology. I know very few Aquarians who really are interested in astrology.
Me too.
Because they're a fixed sign. They're not, everybody talks about Aquarius is so open-minded, and
Right.
no, they're a fixed sign. They're not open-minded.
No.
They just are, they march to the beat of their own drummer.
Yeah. And they don't listen to any other drums. They've got earbuds in and they're walking, they're marching down the street and they're not listening to anybody or anything because they know. The theme for Aquarius is I know. So but I do have one cousin though. She's an Aquarius and I'll get a text from her every once in a while and she'll be like, what the hell is going on with the astrology right now?
Well, again, because Aquarius is so individualistic, they're going to be their own person no matter what. They don't want some chart telling them who to be. So they kind of, tend to accept if they can understand how unique an individual it is, then they're interested. Then
yeah. They want to know about their individuality. And
yes,
having your natal chart read, having your natal energy kind of presented to you in a way that shows you that your way isn't necessarily the wrong way. It's just your way of doing things is really liberating. It's a really good way to connect to who you are, the path that you're going on. And it gives you a roadmap to kind of to deal with all of the energies, especially right now. It's a good roadmap to kind of help you along the way.
Well, and I think you touched on the fact of, an astrological chart, especially your natal chart, is about your individuality. And I feel like what we're moving to is not the rugged individualist.
Right.
That's more Aries. And that's a carryover from the age of Aries still.
Right.
But the authentic human being, who are you authentically? So an individuated person is very different than just an individualist.
Yeah.
They're not the same thing. So to find out who you authentically are and live as that is the next challenge for us.
Yes, definitely.
What's on board. So
yes. Well, if anyone out there is interested in having your natal chart read, I do natal chart readings. I also do Chinese astrology and feng shui. You can find me at createwithj.com.
And Jeremy's awesome. So you'll have a ball. You'll have the best reading, and it's great.
Where can we find you?
Right now, you can find me at my email, darlenemiller2012@gmail.com. I am not taking new clients at the moment for astrology and numerology readings. Kind of got a full deck, and so I'm looking at shifting over within the next year, doing some classes. Once again, I've done them in the past on authenticity, how to get to your authentic self and the genius of it and how to live that. So that's coming up.
Awesome. Well, stay tuned for more information about her classes, her workshops. And the question I want to ask everyone tonight is, how are you going to create a new life for yourself?
And my sign off is, once you make a decision, the universe will conspire with you to make it happen.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Love you all. See you.